November 23rd of 2014 was when the catch was made. And by the catch, I mean this spectacular, absolutely fascinating catch made by Odell Beckham Jr. While being drugged down by a defender, he was somehow able to extend one arm into the air and catch the football using merely nothing but his fingertips. This is an amazing catch. And while not, some people may have the natural talents to make catches like this. Catching is a fairly daunting task for many others. But I, Sterling Gerald, am here today to teach you how to become a better catcher. And today I'm going to be talking about hand placement, and I'm going to move on to talking about hand-eye coordination, followed by strengthening your hands and your arms, and I'm going to finish off by focusing on football gloves and how they can impact your game. So hand placement is by far the most important part of catching, okay? So when the ball is above your waist, you want your thumbs to be touching at the tips along with your index fingers like this, forming a diamond. And you want the nose of the ball to go through this diamond, collapse your fingers around the ball and tuck it in. When the ball's below your waist, you want your pinkies to be touching, nothing but your pinkies. And as soon as the ball makes contact with your hands, you want to caress it and bring it into your body. Things start to get a little tricky when the ball is either way above your head or pretty low to the ground. When the ball's above your head, what you need to do is something called high pointing. All high pointing the ball is catching the ball at its highest point, and the reason for this is to limit the chances of the defender being able to knock the ball out of your hand. So you just want to jump and try to catch the ball at its highest point. Remember to keep this form. Go up, catch the ball, and bring it in. Okay. When the ball is pretty close to the ground, you need to dive for it. It's really important to make sure that you make it clear that you maintain possession throughout the whole catch. And by that, I mean you just don't want the ref to think that maybe you bobbled the ball or bobbled it and it touched the ground, or maybe even use the ground to help you make the catch. So in order to eliminate this, what I like to do is I dive, remember keeping your pinkies together, scoop the ball, as soon as you catch it, land on your back, okay? And by doing this, it just shows the ref that the ball never touched the ground, you just want to make sure they have no doubts. So after hand placement, you want to focus on developing your hand-eye coordination. Hand-eye coordination is obviously really important in catching, okay? So there are a few ways you can develop it, but my favorite way to do it is by just grabbing a tennis ball and by grabbing a friend and just play catch. Focus on making tough catches, throwing the ball hard at each other, maybe even throwing it soft. You just want to focus on all type of catches. Once you're able to snag a little ball there, snagging a big ball there no longer be very hard. Another way you can improve hand-eye coordination is juggling. And I would show you guys juggling, but unfortunately my standing's a little low. But juggling just makes you have to focus on throwing multiple balls in the air while also catching them, okay? And obviously that works your brain. Not only does that work your brain, it works your eyes, and your hands are working with your eyes, which increases hand-eye coordination. Next, improving hand strength and your forearm strength is extremely important. So there are a few workouts you can do for this. What I like to start out with is just wrist curls, okay? I like to hold my hand in my side, palm facing the ground, and just curl up like this. And I like to do it until I can't do it anymore, just until my arm gets too tired. And I do about 2 or 3 sets of those, and make sure obviously you do it on both arms, so you have ankle strength in both arms. Another workout you can do is, it's not necessarily a workout, but you can buy a hand trainer, which is, it's like a mechanism where it literally just resists when you squeeze it. You can buy this for like $10 off of Amazon. The great thing about this is you can use it anywhere. You can use it while you're laying in bed, while, if you're at work, if you work in an office, you can use it while you're sitting at your desk. You can really use it anywhere. And again, I just like doing it until I get tired, and do about 2 or 3 sets of those. Your hand, the muscles in your hand aren't necessarily that big, so it's not really about building mass necessarily. It's more about just building endurance. Just make sure you build strength, that's all it is. And the reason you want strong hands is, the biggest thing is catching the ball in traffic. Because as soon as you catch the ball, you're going to have defenders hacking at your hand, and having strong hands ensure that you're able to keep the grip and suck it away. Next reason for having, a good reason for having strong hands is, in order to make those catches, these spectacular one-handed catches you see, you need your fingertips to be strong. If your hands aren't strong, and you go to make a one-handed catch, the ball is most likely just going to hit your hand and fall straight to the ground. Because you need to be able to stop its momentum And stopping it with two hands is much easier than one hand. But if your hands are strong, then stopping it shouldn't be a problem to you at all. Lastly, we're going to talk about football gloves. Football gloves, pretty self-explanatory. It's just, you see football players wearing these all the time. If you notice, a majority of the spectacular catches are made when players are wearing gloves. People say that, it's really easy to catch once you have football gloves. And actually, that's not the case. Football gloves actually take away like the natural feel. So some people don't even like wearing gloves because they can't catch if they have something between them and the ball. So there's so many different types of gloves you can get. My preference is Nike. I just like the way they feel. You really want to make sure that you get a glove where it's tight on your hand, but you also want to be able to flex your fingers and just move your hands around. Another big advantage of gloves is, once it gets cold out, maybe your hand starts to lose grip, they get dry, get cold. Gloves, not only can they keep your hands warm, but they just, they make sure you always have that friction on your hands to ensure that you can catch any ball that comes your way. You can also purchase gloves with pads in the fingertips, which don't necessarily help your catching per se, but they limit injury to the fingers, which in the long run can help your catching. So today we talked about hand placement. Just remember to keep your hands in the proper position, depending on the ball's location relative to your waist. And next we talked about hand-eye coordination. Just do as many drills as you possibly can to develop your hand-eye coordination. So that catching balls is kind of more of like a second nature thing to you. Next, make sure you have strong arms, strong hands and arms to ensure that you can catch balls in traffic. And lastly, get you a nice pair of football gloves.